Hey, it's a new moon in Sagittarius. So, welcome to this beginning of a lunar cycle that actually takes us all the way through New Year's and into the new year. I'm Hagar, and welcome to Mama Mandala. So, there's a lot going on in the world, and things are heated, and there's a lot of pain that a lot of people are experiencing. And there's something about the archetype of Sagittarius that allows us to include a broader perspective. Sagittarius, the symbol is the archer, right? And it's often portrayed as the centaur. So it's the ability and the capacity in us, if we would like to receive it, to move between animal and human, to move with the legs of a horse and with the capacity of humanity to actually think and see things from different perspectives. Now, we can see very clearly the way that humans are not the wisest animals in many ways. And at the same time, there's our capacity for wisdom is deep and profound. Sagittarius as an archetype is the invitation into the depth of our wisdom. It comes to us toward the end of the solar year, the Gregorian year. It comes to us, it ushers us through the darkest days of the year, really through the way that the waning time is reaching its peak, and it takes us all the way, bam, into the moment where the sun, in the mythic sense, dies. And then it's going to be Capricorn that takes us into rebirth. Now, I have to, just like a quick disclaimer, because I like to mention it, I'm not an astrologer. I'm more of a mythologist. And I like to play and receive the wisdom that lives in the archetypal world and in the way that mythic consciousness moves through us, and use it to understand myself better, and through understanding myself better to maybe open myself up to understanding something greater than myself and others. And in a way, Sagittarius invites us into that capacity because it's a character that lives as a transition, and it also is it's a mutable fire sign, and mutable really means that it kind of completes the season, and it's able to then transition and take us into the next. So it's not stuck in this is where things are, this is what it is, but rather it invites our capacity for adaptability to increase, to open ourselves up to our ability to maybe, this is one way we can look at it, maybe look at things from different angles, particularly when it comes to something very complicated and complex and nuanced. So in a world right now that has lost its nuance, because I'm going to get in it because, I can't help it. More than the war that's going on and the horrors of the war and the intensity that we're all experiencing through the war that's going on in the Middle East right now, from the horrific atrocities of October 7th through what the people in Gaza are going through and what Israel is doing. I think that one of the biggest issues of our time is how things unfold, not only, and I think this makes it worse, not only on the ground and what people are going through, but what's going on social media, because it pours more hate into a fire of hatred. And I think that one of the things that we're seeing is a loss of nuance, a loss of the capacity to move in ways that are more than one. That we're lacking right now the ability to understand that there's deeper complexity. And Sagittarius grounds itself as an archetype. It invites us mythopoetically, to root ourselves as we aim the arrow of what matters to us, right? Because the symbol, the glyph, it's like the arrow, the bow and arrow, and the arrow is pointing up. So it's we can, if we'd like to receive it, direct ourselves to a higher, not as in better, not as in more evolved, because I actually don't really like that kind of binary thinking. Higher in terms of I can see things from a more broad perspective when I look at it from up there. But what I see from up there, I can't see from down here. So in a way, Sagittarius's wisdom, because it has this presence of the wisdom that has been gathered throughout the year, and the learning, right? Like as the zodiac sign as an archetype is associated with learning and understanding. So it's everything that we've learned, not just as an information that came at us, because I think that's actually a part of the problem in the world right now, is so much information and not all of it is true, and most of it is partial, and it doesn't give us a bigger picture so that we can understand things more deeply and fully. But an actual process of learning and integrating the lessons and the information that we have gathered. And it invites us, as we aim the arrow high, the arrow toward the deeper, the broader perspective. We have to get our legs grounded, and it's the legs of a horse. So it's, on the one hand, grounded in our animal nature, grounded in our instincts, grounded in our beastiness, which, again, humanity has divorced itself from. We think we have divorced ourselves, but we can't really, because we are animals. We're just very interesting, strange animals. So it's our beastiness. We're grounding ourselves in our beastiness, and it's a horse, right? It's the legs of a horse, and a horse can move it. A horse can move and gallop and run. So it's both a groundedness and a capacity to move. The invitation to root ourselves and the invitation to direct ourselves into a more expansive way of seeing, being, thinking, feeling. And so there's a transitional quality in this archetype that maybe for some of us, hopefully a little bit, maybe can help us understand that there's more to the story, and invite ourselves to feel things through somebody else's, whoa, there's something going on over there. Feel things through a sense of our belonging to something more than ourselves. Feel things through the understanding that there's not the other, but that there's another. There's more than just one experience. And the less we do that, the more we push, the more hatred we spread, the more we push the one that we're othering into a place of into an unsafe place that causes a very it's like a defensive reaction that then creates more harm. So the more we can ground ourselves and breathe and broaden our perspective and teach ourselves, invite ourselves to integrate the lessons of our capacity to move around, to gallop. Because if we gallop, we are again seeing things we're seeing more landscape, we're seeing more than we could see if we just stayed in one place, right? And this is why Sagittarius is one of the attributes of this archetype is traveling and adventure. And that sense of adventure gives us the ability to see more than one perspective, more than one point of view. And if we're looking at the situation in its depth, and because it's very easy to get caught in the atrocities, whichever side you find yourself on, it's easy to get caught in the atrocities and to lose sight of the complexity and the nuance. But the more we can understand that and increase our capacity to hold the pain with these and those, to hold the pain and the suffering of people right now in the world, and understand that one side's pain doesn't need to take away from our own understanding that there's pain on the other side, and to increase our capacity to hold the complexity of it, I feel, is the invitation of Sagittarius, because it's a traveler, because it's a beast and a human interwoven, because it's a mutable fire sign, because the fire of the wisdom, the fire of the wisdom's arrow can direct us, like the fieriness of it can become really direct. And the directness, again, is not separate from a more expansive way. So it's both. It's direct and it's well-rounded. It's expansive and it's grounded. And this is the way of traveling. This is the way of adventure. This is the wisdom gathered through a journey, right? I'm moving through many places and receiving lessons and knowledge from different ways of being. And it's also then inviting us, because a centaur is it's a mythic creature. So it takes us into the darkness that this season invites us into, the darkness of the unconscious, where a mythic language can actually help us understand reality more deeply. And through mythology, we excavate aspects of ourselves, bring from the depth of the darkness of the unconscious, we bring it into awareness, and through that we again, maybe possibly, if we invite ourselves and we work on it, and I haven't mastered it or anything. I'm in the process of it. I'm constantly asking myself to do it. But then we bring it into our capacity to understand more than ourselves. And I do think there's something about this particular situation right now in the Middle East that is teaching me more deeply than ever before not to be stuck in one perspective, and that there's always more layers to a reality, not always, but most of the time, to the reality and the truth. So if we go into that truthfulness, which is again one of the qualities of this archetype, this deep anchored, it's deeply anchored in truth, then the anchor goes deeper and deeper through the layers of truth, to the layers of reality, because there are many of them. And so you can do this with me for a moment if you'd like. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra, in the gesture of the heart's deepest offering. and then cross. I'm going to bring my right toward me, my right hand toward me. The thumbs touch, and then I cross the thumbs like that. And this is Garuda mudra, and I place it over my heart. And you can do that too if you'd like. You can soften your eyes. And Garuda is often translated as an eagle, but it's more of a griffin. So again, a mythic bird, a mythic creature. If your eyes want to close, you can let them close. And take a couple of soft, deep, long breaths. And Garuda is the vehicle of Vishnu, the Hindu god of sustenance, of the expanse of the universe and the ability to keep the universe going. And he rides the mythic griffin, eagle, bird creature so that the process of sustaining the universe is rooted on the back of the capacity to fly and expand our awareness and our perspective and our understanding of one another so that we are not othering someone. We don't have to include, because that's a whole other topic. But it's the invitation to work together with another. And so we root ourselves on the back of our flying vehicle. And we breathe a little bit more deeply with a little bit of a softer awareness around our breath, because our breath, again, reminds us that we are never in isolation, that we are always a part of something greater than ourselves. Our environment pushes the air into our lungs. And as we breathe out, whatever is inside of us then touches the space we're in. And so we are transitional beings. We are bridges. We are centaurs. We are griffins. And so we take this greater perspective. It doesn't need to be grand. It can be just every day a little bit of a reminder, oh, this person or this group of people that I'm othering, what's there? What's the actual story? What are the details that I'm missing here? Can I learn a little bit more? And then bring those wings of Garuda into Anjali, into, again, the heart's deepest, softest offering. And offer this softness and strength, this capacity to adapt, and the groundedness of your being. Offer it to yourself and do more than yourself. And thank you so, so much for joining me. I'm so grateful you did. I hope it gave you something of value and meaning that you can take into your life and into your day. Happy new moon, or not happy if you're not in a happy space. May this new moon be meaningful and If this did give you something, put a like on it, will you? And subscribe to our channel. And also subscribe to our mailing list over at mamamandala.com. There's a lot of beautiful things coming at you from our email, through our email list. So do sign up and join us for the winter solstice somatic ceremony. All the details are on mamamandala.com. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. And thank you. Mwah. See you soon.